Johnny Bones Jones. I'm talking about the youngest champion in UFC history at the age of 23 back in 2011 when he defeated Mauricio Shogun Rua to become the light heavyweight champion of the world. And obviously now there's questions about him going up to heavyweight and challenging the current reigning, defending, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, the Cameroonian international Francis Ngannou. Obviously there's people who are questioning John Jones' ability to go up to heavyweight to fight the current champion in Francis Ngannou. Some people imply that he's scared. Some people imply that he's scared because maybe he might be too small, or maybe he's just scared of the devastating knockout power of the Cameroonian international. But really, I'm here to kind of add a little bit of a dimension to it in terms of like my views on like a potential matchup between Johnny Bones Jones at heavyweight versus Francis Ngannou for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Number one, if John Jones could ever muster that courage to go up to heavyweight to fight Francis Ngannou for the title and then manages to pull out a victory against Francis Ngannou, I think that's it, full stop. That would definitely solidify any claims of John Jones literally being the greatest ever UFC mixed martial arts fighter of all time. That is definitely going to solidify it. Literally. I mean, look at all his accomplishments in light heavyweight. He's done it all in light heavyweight. Defended the title probably more consecutive times than any ever light heavyweight champion in UFC history. Done it, won the belt at the age of 23, the youngest champion ever. I mean, we're talking about when he was a light heavyweight champion, I mean, he was fighting a murderous row. I'm talking about the likes of Chael P. Sonnen. Obviously, the likes of Mauricio Shogun Rua, Lyoto Machida. We're talking about the likes of Alexander Gustafsson, which to this day I consider as being the greatest UFC fighter of all time. And then obviously fought killers like Glover Teixeira and all of that. Do you know what I mean? He's defeated all these fighters, never ever lost a fight in the UFC apart from the fight against Matt Hamill, which obviously was disqualification, but he was obviously dominating that fight. But he landed an illegal elbow. So John Jones defeating Francis Ngannou will definitely cement him as the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time. But that hasn't materialized yet. I'm just fantasizing. That's what I am doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fantasizing. I'm just dreaming about that fight happening, to be honest. Like, dreaming about it happening. But the question is he going to be too small? And we all understand that John Jones, for the heavyweight division, fundamentally, it's all about knockout. It really is all about knockout. And John Jones doesn't have a history of knocking fighters out. I mean, he does have a history of submissions. Definitely he does. And he does have a history of going through decisions, unanimous decisions, split decisions. We saw against the likes of Anthony Smith, the likes of Dominic Reyes, and all these fighters. To be honest, unanimous decisions, split decisions, and all of that. And against the likes of Alexander Gustafsson. But a history of knocking out fighters, he doesn't have it as much. And we all know that the heavyweight division foundationally is about knockouts. The reason why heavyweights earn more money than flyweights, featherweights, lightweights, and welterweights is because it's really exciting. I believe that the heavyweight division is the most exciting division in any combat sport. And obviously, he doesn't have a history of knocking people out. So I think that's one of my fears for John Jones going up to heavyweight and taking on Francis Ngannou. I'm talking about the greatest knockout artist in UFC history. I believe that John Jones possibly, based on that logic, I think he might actually get devastated. How's he going to defeat Francis Ngannou? Is he going to wrestle him? Possibly he could try, but Stipe Miocic tried. And we all know that Miocic is a more qualified or is a better wrestler than John Jones. Facts. I mean, he uses wrestling more than John Jones. So he couldn't even take down Francis Ngannou in their second fight. He tried and obviously got devastated with a knockout. So John Jones trying, he could try. I mean, he could look for submissions and all of that. But I think Francis Ngannou's takedown defense is enough, just enough, to be able to cope with John Jones. And so based on that logic, people saying that John Jones is scared to fight Francis Ngannou, you know, I would be scared. I don't blame anybody being fearful of fighting Francis Ngannou. Not a single person. Not Tyson Fury, not John Jones. It doesn't really matter. So if John Jones is scared to fight Francis Ngannou, it's like, I mean, he could admit it. No one's gonna shame him for it. Even I wouldn't want to fight Francis Ngannou. Nobody on this earth wants to, wants to take that devastating left hook or right hand from Francis Ngannou. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm trying to effectively communicate is that if that fight was to ever materialize, between John Jones and Francis Ngannou, I believe that Francis obviously has the advantage at heavyweight. And we all know that heavyweights mostly is about knockouts. So from that perspective, yes, I believe that Francis Ngannou is going to win that fight, and he's going to win it by devastating knockout. But if there was any chance that John Jones was to ever pull out a miracle, then he will definitely, without a doubt, be the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time. The sheer courage of actually going up to heavyweight and then defeating the current defending undisputed heavyweight champion of the world will definitely cement his legacy as the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's just keep dreaming about that fight. Let's fantasize about that fight. But my prediction definitely is that Francis Ngannou is going to win by a devastating knockout, and it's not going to be even close. It's not going to be, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be even close. So I would obviously want to maybe hear your perspective on that. To add a little bit more dimension to it, you know what I mean? I'd just like to hear different views in relation to the bout. What do you think? Do you think there will ever be a possibility where that fight would ever materialize? And if so, who have you got winning that fight? Do you think John Jones is going to beat him? And if so, why? How is it? Is it going to be primarily due to wrestling, as we've seen in Francis's first fight against Stipe Miocic at UFC 221-22, back in 2017, when he got submitted, not submitted, but just defeated by Stipe Miocic by unanimous decision, totally dominated because he gassed out. Could we see a replica of that fight? Or could we see Francis Ngannou doing what he did to many fighters, the likes of Alistair Overeem back in 2017, Ciganio Junior dos Santos, former heavyweight champion, the likes of Cain Velasquez. We're talking about the likes of Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I mean, he devastated these fighters. Are we potentially going to see that? And we all know that John Jones doesn't have a history of being knocked out. That also will add a different dimension to it. But we've seen fighters who don't have a history of being knocked out having their lights shut off by Francis Ngannou. Junior dos Santos being one of those fighters. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Cain Velasquez being one of those fighters, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? The most powerful man in UFC history versus the man with the best chin in UFC history and the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time. What are your perspectives? Who are you gonna go for? Obviously, I really appreciate you obviously taking the time to watch this video. Make sure obviously smash the like button down below. Comment and subscribe with your notification bells obviously turned on for more consistent uploads. To be honest, I would definitely appreciate if you do that. It's going to mean a lot to me as a YouTuber. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put in the effort, just grinding and all of that, to be honest. So it'd mean a lot to me. Smash the like button down below, comment and subscribe. Obviously, share the video on social media. Share it with your friends and family. The people that you know, they can help out. Really help out, to be honest, to grow this channel, to become a really big channel. A channel that talks about MMA and boxing, to be honest. That would mean a lot to me, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that. Obviously, have yourselves a fantastic day as well. Peace.